Hi everyone, I'm Matt Caffrey, Sales Engineer for Barracuda MSP in APAC. Welcome to part 3 of our Business Continuity Plan webinar series. Today I'll take you through Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service and how it can help protect MSPs' applications for their clients in terms of traffic spikes and other threats. As I'd mentioned in part 1 and part 2, MSPs should utilize this time to revamp the business continuity plan for SMB customers. Remote working could become the new norm, and business continuity measures that MSPs put in place will now become the future framework. In order to plan for success beyond these uncertain times, MSPs need to start adding services that can support a large number of remote workers that can be delivered at scale, as well as keeping them secure. Websites are everywhere and they are core to many businesses, especially with the current restrictions in place. Much of them consumers buying has quickly shifted from in-person to online. To help your clients retain customers and continue business, they need to quickly ramp up e-commerce applications. Similar disruptions are happening to government agencies and other organizations from what we see here at Barracuda. Pretty much every application can now be accessed via a web browser or mobile application. Also over HTTP and HTTPS compared to earlier when you would have applications requiring a custom installation that use some very obscure protocol to talk to a back end. Easier to use, faster to deploy, and much easier to troubleshoot. But then they are also quite insecure for many reasons. According to research by White Hat, despite security investments continuing to grow, businesses still misunderstand where the basic risk is and where they should be investing. As you can see, it is important for MSPs to start having this conversation with their customers to ensure applications are not overlooked, especially when it comes to new things such as APIs that have come out, which continue to punch holes through the security. This brings us to Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service, which sits in our network security layer. Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service enables MSPs to protect customers' web applications in minutes, no matter where they're hosted. It also offers customers the completeness of an on-prem solution with the simplicity of a SaaS deployment, no matter where their applications are hosted, transforming how you manage application security. It removes the complexity of setting up and configuring an appliance or instance. Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service delivers comprehensive protection for customers' web applications in minutes with 5 simple steps in a wizard. This offer is of a level of control that's usually only available on-prem or in public cloud solutions. You can take control and fine-tune specific policies for each application's requirements, building unique pre-application policies for your customers. DOS attacks disrupt the availability of your customers' websites, which can have significant impact on business. Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service defends against the full spectrum, ensuring that availability of your customers' web apps. Barracuda Vulnerability Remediation Service is built into Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service. It provides automatic vulnerability detection and remediation that can be scheduled, ensuring ongoing protection for your customers without the added work for your team. Traditionally, when you deploy Barracuda WAF, you had 2 options. You could go and deploy it on-prem using a physical appliance or virtual machine, or cloud provider using the infrastructure as a service option that is of that cloud provider. In the first case, when we're deploying WAF on-prem, you will need to be responsible for everything, including data center facilities, the networking, how it's connected, and how you handle traffic from the WAF to the WAF. You had the responsibility of those servers, the actual physical appliances or the hypervisor you were deploying it. If it was a virtual machine, you had the responsibility of handling security, updating the WAF system to administer the WAF and configure the WAF to protect those web applications. If you were deploying it WAF in the cloud, some of those parts have been taken care of by the cloud provider, mainly to facilitate networking, servers, and hypervisor, but still you had to deal with the security, internal networking system, administration of the WAF, and configuration. With WAF-as-a-Service, we're going to take care of everything on those layers. The only thing that the MSP will need to take care of is the application security layer, which is why you're using the WAF in the first place. So deploying a WAF as a service provides immediate threat protection for your web applications and backend servers. Without a WAF, your applications are exposed to the outside world and all vulnerabilities that are visible to those attackers. If you want to mitigate the threats, the only way to do that would be to go in and patch the code yourself, which is very hard to do if you're trying to leverage a web developer perhaps to do this as the MSP, and they may not be a skill set within your own domain. The WAF, those vulnerabilities are insulated and secured from the outside world without making changes to the code or backend servers, which usually breaks things. Essentially, the Barracuda WAF provides security that extends the security posture for your customer's network. One of the most common questions is, doesn't a firewall secure a website? A firewall doesn't secure a web application as it doesn't have the visibility into requests being sent to those web applications. To mitigate and block threats, WAFs and firewalls don't replace each other. They are different security threats. While the Barracuda CloudGen firewall secures the access to your network and protects end users from threats and attack, the Barracuda web application firewall secures your customers' web applications as part of your border strategy to protect all networking threat vectors. The WAF can even use activity and profiling information from trusted hosts to automatically learn and fine-tune policies in order to reduce false positives. Together, they work hand in hand to ensure a layered security model to protect those customers' networks and end users of those servers. If you would like to have an overview of the CloudGen firewall, please watch part 2 of the video that I produced in the last weeks. By adding another security offering, it helps MSPs to cross-sell and upsell into their existing clients. As you can see, we have a focused portfolio. MSPs can pick and choose their clients' needs and gradually add more things into that offering. Our most successful partners grow their business with our help by focusing on 3 core functions. First, they create the service offerings from Barracuda MSP's portfolio, offering a multi-layered security and data protection solutions into their customers' portfolio. Then they deliver it with our purpose-built MSP platform, so you can manage, you can provision, deliver those services profitably. Then finally, the most important, and most importantly, the demonstration of the value of the customers in terms of those threats and the activity levels of those reports to answer those questions per month or per quarter. Now let's take a sneak peek at the dashboard of WAF as a service. It is very easy to deploy and manage. The dashboard is clean and simple and will be accessible straight from your existing Barracuda Cloud Control account for that customer. Then adding a new application is simple. It only takes 5 steps. Step 1, application name and domain. Step 2, the IP address and protocols that you're going to be using. Step 3, the backend server protocols, host name or IP address and port. Step 4, monitoring or blocking in terms of the mode that you want to use first up. And then step 5, changing your DNS to point to WAF-as-a-Service on your own DNS server. There is also additional granularity in terms of certificates and alike that you can put into that endpoint. Then you would select your components. You would have bot protection, caching, compression, and alike. Caching is a great one for that particular. This one here is in a different language. So yeah, if we want to, we can support different languages as well. May not be applicable to our region though. So if you'd like to book a demo of WAF as a service, I'm very happy to help with you on that. And then we can go ahead and provision that on your account. Please send me an email and we can book something in. Alternatively, we'll send out an Acuity link to book in that demo. So to summarize, in part 1 of our business continuity planning series, We've talked about how to secure business data for remote workforces with Barracuda Intranet Backup. Part 2, we've shown how to protect your cloud-connected customers, networks, and devices with Barracuda Cloud Gen Firewall. And today we've talked about the importance and benefits of Barracuda WAF-as-a-Service to protect applications against spikes in traffic and web application firewall threats. Next, I'll show you how to detect and prevent vulnerabilities in customer networks by using our RMM tool, Managed Workplace. And we'll hope to see you on the next one. Thank you very much for joining us and have a great day.